Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm glad you're here. Guess what? We got a pretty good show today. And the main thing is you're here. So pull up a chair, sit back and relax for a little while. You're at the Dray Way now. And I'm Drayton Nay, your host. We're going to have some fun. Let's get started. Let's go! Welcome to the Dray Way. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that big, beautiful bill that's now in the Senate. You know, the big, beautiful bill that Republicans in the House passed unanimously, as far as all Republicans voted for that garbage. I hate to break it to you, but if you look at the bill, it is extremely destructive. Yeah. And who's it extremely destructive to? Red states. Yes, states like Alaska would be devastated. Wyoming, devastated. You know, Kansas, Alabama, West Virginia, you will be devastated. You will lose hospitals. You will lose food benefits. You will lose. And I sit back in amazement. I sit back and I go, why are red states so poor year after year after year? Why is Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama, West Virginia, why are all these red states broke year after year after year? And now they're struggling more than ever before because the federal government under Trump is turning off the money. And I don't think people in red states understand the people who look out for you are Democrats. Democrats do more for red states than Republicans do. Republicans don't even like you. You want to know how I know why? This is how I know. You haven't been invited to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, if you're from Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, you think you're going to Mar-a-Lago? You think the rich Republicans give a damn about you? You think they care about you at all? They don't. Not one bit. And here, you know, these are lifelines for many people in Alabama and West Virginia and Wyoming and stuff like that. You guys depend on federal dollars. Without federal dollars, you guys are in big, big trouble. And when I say federal dollars, that's blue states giving the government money so that it can give it to red states, because you guys are broke. You guys have no money whatsoever, and you contribute nothing to the economy. Yeah, you're really a drag. And red and blue states like New York and California have to consistently give you money just so you guys can sustain yourselves. And how are we paid back? You vote for Republicans that take everything away from you. The bill takes away everything from you. You live in a rural area in a red state. Your hospital, the hospital that serves a huge area, one hospital for this huge, it's going away. Yeah. If that big, beautiful bill gets passed in the Senate, you're going to lose that hospital. You may start losing post offices. You may start losing all kinds of services, including you won't be getting food. Do you understand? You won't be getting food. And that nursing home that your parents are at, it may have to shut down. There will be hundreds of them, maybe thousands, that will have to shut down. Why? Because the government doesn't care about you in those red states. They don't care. All they want to do is scare you come election time. Oh, we have open borders and people are piling in and they're coming to get you. Yeah, that's just to make you scared. You know, they've been in office 5 months now. Have they changed anything? Have they changed any laws about immigration? at all? Have they gone to the legislature and said, hey, let's make things better, let's fix immigration? No. They have the House, they have the Senate, they have the White House, they could change it like that. And you know what they choose to do? Nothing. They choose to do absolutely nothing. That's what they choose. What are they focused on? They're focused on tax cuts for rich people. What else are they focused on? Taking away benefits, taking away dollars that people in red states depend on for their survival. Yeah, Republicans want to take that away. Republicans don't want you to have that anymore. And yet you go year after year and you keep voting for people that don't care or like you at all. And they don't stand for anything. Somebody needs to tell me, please tell me in the comments, you're Republican because why? Other than the fact that you like going to parties where there's lots of white people, what do you think Republican stands for? What are Republicans trying to achieve? Because every time they get into power, they don't try to achieve anything except for tax cuts. And those tax cuts aren't even for you. So again, time and time and time again, Republicans get in the White House. And again, not only do you get in the White House, you get in the Senate and the House. And what are they trying to achieve right now? Nothing. They're trying to give tax cuts to really rich people, and they're trying to take away food and health care from those that can least afford it. How does that make sense? How do you call yourself a Republican? What does it mean? Tell me what being a Republican means. Because so far, the only thing I've seen that Republicans really stand for is tax cuts and having parties with other white people. That's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Welcome to the Dray Way. Don't go anywhere. More Dray Way to come. I need someone to explain to me Doge and tariffs. I need you to explain Doge and tariffs because Doge was a complete scam. Doge, yeah, accomplished nothing. You can't argue it. You can't say, oh, yes, it did. No, Doge did nothing. Doge accomplished exactly nothing. And all it did is make life miserable for people and cause disruption. It was a terrible idea. Its execution was horrible. And you put a drug addict in charge of it. How was that supposed to make sense? How was that supposed to work? And all these tariff things have been complete, utter failure nonsense. You know, if you want to do a deal with somebody, especially if they're a friend, you approach them nicely and say, hey, there's some things I'm concerned with. There's some things that I would like us to work on. Can we sit and talk? That's what any normal person would do. That's how you actually begin a negotiation with a friend. And the United States had a lot of friends, And all you had to do was sit down with them. I mean, you don't think Canada wants to sit down and have a good conversation with us and see how we can help each other? You don't think Mexico does? You know, Mexico is just 10, 20 years away from being a huge power in the world. 10 or 20 years away. So you don't think sitting down and talking civilly would have been a little bit better than this tariff nonsense? Because the tariff thing is just a pure scam at this point. It's just a scam. It doesn't mean anything. And Trump shouldn't be doing any type of tariffs. He shouldn't have the power to say a single thing about a tariff. It needs to stop and stop now. All it's done is just waste all of our time. And I don't know about you. I'm tired of having my time wasted. I'm tired. That's why when a Republican gets in office, I'm like, oh, great. Here we go. You know, we got a Republican office. Now nothing's going to get done except for a tax cut. And that's all they really want anyway. They're not, no new roads are going to be built, no new bridges, no new anything is going to get accomplished. But somehow we're going to cut taxes for rich people, because that's what happens when Republicans get in the White House. There's no other great accomplishments. There's no great bridges built. There's no great dams or great projects that are completed or done or anything. None of that. It's just, did we get a tax cut? That's it. So somebody tell me how any of this made any sense. Because all Doge did is talk a lot of nonsense and not actually accomplish anything. And it was going to be a failure at the very beginning, because you were listening to a guy that had no government experience whatsoever and apparently really appreciates good drugs. How did you think that was going to work? Why would you take someone that has no experience in government and think they can go ahead because they're rich, they can suddenly do government? Like, running a company is like running government. It's not even close. It's not the same thing. You know, you're trying to make lives better. Corporations aren't trying to make lives better. They're trying to make money. That's it. That's their sole purpose, make money. But that's not government's purpose. So that's why this was a colossal failure, just like his Cybertruck. Yeah, his Cybertruck, what a piece of garbage. So yeah, he was a complete failure because he had no experience in government and he had a drug issue. So yeah, that was a train wreck, and we all got to watch the train wreck. So now what? We now know Doge was BS. We now know this whole tariff thing is BS. And it's just turned Trump into Taco Trump. You know, Trump always chickens out. Taco Trump. Isn't that nice to be known as Taco Trump now? That's how good the idea was for tariffs. You came away with a nickname that's going to stick with you forever. Oh, Taco Trump. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't go anywhere. I got a final thought. Well, I think it's safe to say that next year in the midterms, we're going to flip the House and the Senate. At least one of them, probably both. Because now, after just less than 6 months, people can see Republicans don't do anything. Republicans don't help anything. Republicans aren't going to make their lives any easier. In fact, they're going to make it awful and worse. Yeah. So maybe voting for Republicans wasn't a very good idea. Duh. You know. But the good news is, and I've been talking about this some, it's going to give opportunity. It's going to be opportunity in the stock market. And I'm telling you now, the place to invest now and into the future is in American business, is in the stock market. The stock market is the place to be. I have what's called a stash account. I talk about it often because Stash and I have a nice little arrangement. Every time somebody signs up with Stash, they get a $30 bonus. They send me a bonus too for using my link. So I will include my link here. And in my description, the link to Stash will be there. And I want people to get involved. I want you to experience what I've experienced in the stock market over the last 40 plus years. I got into the stock market very, very early in my lifetime, back in '76. I got involved with that and coins and all kinds of things. And if you really, really want to take advantage of being an American and watching America grow and prosper, you got to invest in American companies. And American companies, decade after decade after decade, they do extremely well. You can watch your money grow. The great thing about Stash is you can start your Stash account with as little as $10. And it doesn't take a lot of money. You know, just putting away a few dollars here, a few dollars there. You can start to build your account, and there's nothing that will make you feel better than watching your account grow over time. And I promise you, if you consistently invest in the stock market, your account will consistently go up year after year after year after year. And as much as I invested when I was younger, I wish I would have doubled and tripled what I invested, because I learned real soon that every $100 that you invest, 30 years later will be $2,000. So if you put away 100, it's going to be 2,000 in 30 years. So how many of those hundreds do you want to put away? The more you put away, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, it starts to add up really, really fast. But that's what happens when you invest in the stock market. So my best advice to you is, I think that we're going to be turning the House and the Senate in next year. I think once we have some stabilization, I think American business is going to do extremely well in the next 5 years, despite Donald Trump. I think as soon as the House or Senate flip over to the Democrats, that his presidency is essentially over with. So take a look at getting your stash account. Go ahead and click on the link. Thanks for joining me today on the Dray Way. I hope you stop by every day, because there's a new Dray Way each and every day. And we'll be talking about stocks and real estate, and we got all kinds of things to talk about. So stop on by. Thanks for joining me today. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.